The 2015 Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship blasted into thrilling action at a busy Brands Hatch on Easter Sunday. Over the winter, Britain's top series had witnessed its biggest driver shake-up in recent times. It was all changed from top to bottom. Reigning champion Colin Turkington had switched from his title-winning BMW to one of the 4 Team BMR Volkswagen CCs. Record race winner Jason Plato was another new face in the ambitious VW camp, with his seat at MG now being filled by former champion Andrew Jordan. Meanwhile, Honda had replaced its history-making Tourer estate with a new Civic Type R for Matt Neal and Gordon Shedden. Infiniti had arrived on the scene as well, with a brand new Q50. Biggest news of all, perhaps, was the return of triple World Touring Car champion Andy Priaulx, who was filling Turkington's BMW boots. The talented Channel Islander wasted no time laying down his marker by grabbing pole position for the first of the day's 3 epic encounters. Aaron Smith lined up second, with his 2 illustrious new teammates, Plato and Turkington, locking out row 2. All the drivers are obliged to run the softer Dunlop tyre in one of the day's 3 races, and Priaulx was one of the few front runners to take the option in the opener. As the lights went out, it seemed to be the right call too, the poleman making a solid start to lead the jostling pack into Paddock Hill Bend. It was teammate Rob Collard, though, who made a lightning getaway from 5th on the grid, leapfrogging the Volkswagens to make it a BMW 1-2. Further back, the predictable first lap action saw Neal and Sam Tordoff make contact. Others in the tightly packed midfield were forced to take avoiding action. Although the soft tyres had given Priaulx the early advantage, by half distance they were starting to feel the pace, and it wasn't long before they started to fade. In a flash, Collard, Smith and Plato were all through. The early leader would finally struggle home in 9th after dropping further places in the closing laps. Up front, the faultless Collard held on to take what was a totally unexpected but thoroughly deserved victory from the hard-charging Smith and Plato. Behind the top 3, MG debutant Jack Goff was hounded by Turkington and Shedden, but survived to claim 4th, with VW and Honda filling his mirrors as they flashed over the finishing line. With the race 2 grid now being set by a driver's fastest lap in race 1, it was Plato who lined up on pole for the day's 2nd showdown alongside Priaulx. Shedden was 3rd in the new Honda and Collard back in 4th, this time with the softer Dunlop tyres on his BMW, plus maximum 75 kilos of success ballast. That didn't stop the race 1 winner from making another great getaway, slotting into 2nd behind Plato. But his glory was short-lived as first Shedden, then Priaulx battled their way past the soft-tyred BMW into the top 3 positions. By now, the dominant Plato had made his getaway and seemed on target for maximum points until disaster struck. A dramatic puncture sent the Volkswagen sliding off into the gravel and instant retirement. Plato's demise left Shedden and Priaulx locked in a titanic 2-way tussle for victory. The BMW briefly nosed ahead, but the Honda immediately fought back. The squabbling pair was still locked together nose to tail around the final corner, with the BMW drawing alongside on the dramatic drag to the checkered flag. It was Shedden, though, who just held on to give the Type R a stunning maiden victory, the margin just 0.04 of a second. With the top 10 reversed for the day's final race, it was the Audi of Rob Austin on pole in the holiday sunshine. The MG of Jack Goff also lined up on the front row, with Neal's Honda and Sam Tordoff's BMW behind. Austin made no mistake grabbing the early lead as Neal sneaked past Goff on the blast to the first corner. Further back, first race victor Collard went from hero to 0, a tap forcing him off into the kitty litter. The Audi bravely clung on to the lead as the top 3 ran nose to tail. Eventually, the chasing Honda made its decisive move, Goff also following Neal past the plucky Audi, which quickly fell into the clutches of Jordan's hard-charging MG. As the dueling duo tangled, so Smith slipped through into 3rd, an impressive climb from 12th on the grid. Back at the front, Neal was summoning up all his experience to keep Goff at bay. Despite the MG's close attentions in the final few laps, the triple champ held on to claim his 54th Btcc win and complete an amazing double for the new Civic Type R. After the champagne flowed, Louise Goodman caught up with the Honda star.
Well, Matt, a fantastic opening weekend of the season for you and the Honda Urasa racing team. 2 victories for the new Civic Type R, and you're leaving this first round at the head of the championship.
Yeah, we came here with high hopes but realistic expectations, and never in our wildest dreams would we imagine 2 wins out of 3 this weekend. It's just absolutely fantastic, and sharing them out 1 each, it's over the moon.
So next time we move on to Donington, which is very much your home race, isn't it?
Yeah, it's where I had my first ever Btcc win and emptied Alan Gow's pocket for 250 grand at the time. So it's got a lot of special memories for me. But we're realistic. Jason, the BMR guys have had incredible pace this weekend, and it's not gone their way. They're going to be light. We're carrying this new 75 kilo weight penalty at Donington, so it's going to be pretty tough in qualifying.
Who else do you think is going to come into the mix at the next round?
I think the BMs are going to always be there, all 3 of them. So, you've got to be realistic. The whole championship is wide open at the moment, not just with BMW, Honda and VW, but everybody up and down the pit lane. It's wide open.
Donington is a circuit with a lot of history, and a circuit that's absolutely fantastic for spectators to come along and watch at, isn't it? It very much opens itself up for them.
Yeah, I mean, historically, it's got some great viewing areas on the banks, down through Craner curves, some absolute classics. It's a real flowing circuit with always provides some great racing, and it's a tough one to win at.
Any particular favourite corners or favourite parts of the track for you?
Well, one the drivers always dread is Craner curves, because it's flat out in 6th gear in one of these things. For the last few years, I haven't had the bottle to take it flat, but Flash always does me down there, so that's always a bone of contention for me where I've got to focus on.
And what do you look for from a car at a track like Donington?
You just got to have a good balance all round. You've got to have strong engine, but the new Honda engine we've got this year is absolutely fantastic. We've got no complaints in that area. We're right on the money with the best ones this weekend.
We look forward to seeing you there, and hopefully you'll be collecting a little bit more silverware for the trophy cabinet.
We'll certainly be trying. Thanks, Lou.